Welcome to CAM Matters, Condos, Co-ops, HOAs, and beyond. Betsy Barbieux is an informational leader in Florida on community association living, rights, and obligations. She is an expert on the rights and obligations of owners as well as the association. If you live or are planning to live in the state of Florida, there's a good chance you'll be part of a community association. And by the end of this show, you'll know a little bit more about community associations and why they matter.
Welcome to the July 2026 episode of CAM Matters. Got my stars
Happy 4th of July.
so that we remember it's the July show. How are you, Betsy?
I'm good. I debated on whether to wear my 4th of July shirt or my flamingo shirt.
I mean, we got to promote the yes with the flamingo.
Promote the yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And I brought a friend.
You did.
I did. Look.
Now look how cute.
So our theme for the summit is flamingos. So dress with your tackiest flamingo accessories. And
preferably not live, because there are a couple people that you know, but you know a couple people who may bring a live one.
Are a couple of people that if anybody brought a live one,
you know who it would be.
But the summit is coming up next, almost exactly a month away.
Should we just start with that?
Let's
start with the summit.
Let's go and talk
about
how
are things going? Because you've got just a few weeks left.
Yeah, how are things going? About 3 weeks left to register, and got a good group already that are registered. But I wanted to thank our sponsors.
Okay.
And our platinum event sponsor is Construct Florida.
Okay.
Contracting company here in the Central Florida area that does a really, really good job. They are the event sponsor. So because of them, we get the fabulous Venetian Center.
Nice. So beautiful in there.
They just, it's such a beautiful place.
It is.
Our gold sponsor is Blue Stream Fiber.
Okay.
Our media sponsor is The Journal.
Very nice.
The social sponsor is Baljanik, the attorneys. And also co-social sponsor is Exclusive Landscaping. They're a sponsor this year, both Baljanik and Exclusive. Stone Building Solutions will be one of our breakfast sponsors, as is Vote HOA Now. And Valley Bank is coming back, and they are our educational materials sponsor. Belfour is a lunch sponsor, as is Sherwin-Williams. So they're new this year too. And our food and beverage sponsor, most people will know them as Assured Partners, Phil and Nagar.
Right.
But their name is changing to Gallagher. So
okay.
That's who we have. And because of all of them, we will have Miss Debbie's cooking.
Yes.
2 breakfasts, 2 lunches. And we will also have our social hour at the Ski Beach restaurant across the parking lot after day 1. And I'm just making sure that managers are fed.
Yeah.
So
can't faint or anything. Yeah.
And Miss Debbie's cookies, she will have those for us too, as probably
fuel.
Peach cobbler or something like that. So,
Betsy, before we move into more of the tactical things, what is going to be happening, I want to talk about real quick, what do those sponsors mean to you? Because I know that you work with a lot of different companies and organizations. When you are honing in on these particular sponsors, these are ones that you're most familiar with. You put your name on it in a way and say, look, they are trusted and we work like family together. And
some of them are new. They have come to me.
Wow.
And as far as sponsors go for the event, it's first come, first serve.
Okay.
So I solicited, I always ask the former sponsors, the previous ones, if they want to sponsor again. Most of them do.
Yeah.
But then I have others saying, can I sponsor something? And so I've made some more categories so that they can join in. But I only want one of each industry.
Okay.
I don't want 5 landscapers.
Yeah. But these are people that you trust.
Yeah. And I've gotten to know, and pretty much I know all of them because of our local CAI chapter, Community Associations Institute chapter. So that's pretty much how I know all of
All
them.
right. So then this is kind of our last really hard push
Yeah,
before
we need to
yes
get the
happens.
registrations in.
Why would someone attend? Who? This is a big year.
This is the year that
Yeah.
everybody's continuing ed credits are due.
Mm-hmm.
The topics for the 2 days, day one is going to be a couple of panel discussions on disasters and insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So those are always real good.
Now those are two separate categories, not disasters in insurance. It's disasters and insurance, right?
Disasters
Okay.
and insurance. Or
Okay, that was kind of it was a joke.
And
Didn't really come out that way.
not disastrous insurance. No. But Jane Boland, the attorney that we all love from down in South Florida, she will be moderating those panels. And last year, she did such an awesome job and got a lot of information out of our panelists. The one panel will be some of the sponsors, some of the providers of our services will be one panel. The other panel will be managers.
Okay.
We're trying to see if there will be enough board members coming to the summit that we might even get a board member panel.
Wow, whole panel. That's
great. By the way, board members do come to the summit, even though you don't need your CAM license credits or anything. They do come.
They might want to learn something.
They like hanging out with the managers. They learn a lot. And then day two is Jane is going to be with us a day and a half. She will do the legal update on day two. She'll do that in the morning. And don't even get me started on that.
Okay.
So in September on that.
Okay.
And then I'll do an afternoon session on meetings and records. And those hours will also be approved for the new HOA hours that CAMs that work for homeowners associations have. Okay. So they'll get those extra hours for that afternoon session. So I think it'll be a good 2 days. Lots of, I want to say lengthy, more or less breaks so that you have plenty of time to talk. Mm-hmm. Sponsors will be
and network. The networking is so important.
Yeah, I like to give them a little bit longer breaks because a lot of the learning goes on during the breaks. Mm-hmm. So, and you'll also have a chance on day one to visit the sponsors on day one.
What percentage of repeat do you have opposed to new people who are coming in?
Oh, I bet I have 80% repeat.
Okay.
And a lot of people come every year, right? Instead of every other year. A lot of people come every year.
What would you say to someone who's like, I've been hearing about this. I've never been. I'm not quite sure. What would you say to someone? How would you open this invitation personally? Talk right to them and invite them in.
Just put your flip-flops on and your best flamingo shirt and come have an enjoyable time and learn a whole lot. The the CAM panelist will be coming from all over the state. So I have what I call the 5 corners of the state. They'll come from the panelists will come from Southwest Florida, Southeast Florida, the Volusia-ish Jacksonville area, Panhandle, and Central Florida. So and it's very interesting to see the different challenges of the managers from different parts of the state.
That's a really good point. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah, they don't all just come from Volusia County or something. Okay.
Well, any final thoughts before we move into the topic for July?
Just get your flip-flops and sunglasses and wear something flamingo and come on.
Okay, sounds good. Well, to move into the meat and potatoes of today and the July show, we're talking about civility.
Now we'll talk about something that's not really fun.
Because things are not getting better in this area and it needs to be addressed. Let's talk about why is this important to you? What are you seeing?
This week, I've had 2 managers call. One lady manager and one man manager. And they're just beside themselves. They don't understand the rudeness of people coming into the office and just making demands like stop everything you're doing and meet my needs. Well,
is this owners you're talking about?
owners,
Owners coming in.
coming in,
Mhm.
and board members coming in, and which is fine. But when this is at least for me, it's the first of the month. We're all balancing checkbooks,
Mm.
bank statements,
Right.
and getting interrupted and having to stop and start. But it's the tone, it's the yelling, it's the well, I told you and you should have, and why don't you, and the finger wagging. The managers that I've talked to, the two, are demoralized. It's like, what on earth is wrong with everybody? Why are they so hateful? And board members yelling and accusing managers of doing all these wrong things without getting the facts, without knowing what they're talking about. The rumors in some communities just fly all over the place. And I don't know why it is that bad news is more fun than good news,
Mhm.
but I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll probably say it again before the end of the show, but you homeowners, that might be where you live, but it's our workplace.
Mm.
And in any other job that you had, any other workplace where you were, this kind of behavior was not tolerated. You would get written up for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
creates a hostile work environment for some
Sure.
managers.
And it seems like it's getting worse, Betsy.
Yes, and I think it is getting worse, and it seems to be that the whole world is mad.
Mhm.
We watch hateful things on TV. We watch rude and vulgar things on TV. What was it? The writers' strike? I don't know how long ago. 20 years ago now. And so we didn't have any TV shows.
Right.
Out came all of the reality shows. So everybody's just going around video recording themselves, and it got put on TV. And it seems like the more obscene, the more vulgar,
The more self-focused we are,
that
the more we can say what we want, how we want. It
why on
seems like.
earth would anybody want to be videotaped all day long?
Right.
Don't
Right.
know.
Right.
All these stupid bachelor things, bachelorette, where they just
It's crazy.
all sorts of activity that should not be shown on TV,
Right.
much less have your personal life videotaped like that. I don't know. We're just
That's where we've gone. Betsy, let me ask you this, because I want to talk about the positive side, how we can do a self-check, where our blind spots are. And I want to talk about, if you're an owner and you're feeling frustrated, you've heard these rumors, what is the best way to tackle? Maybe that's not the right word. We don't need physical, but what is the best way to approach manager calmly with emotional maturity, opposed to how it's happening a lot now? Let's talk about that.
why don't you just go to the source and ask? Why don't you just go talk to the person that seems to be the subject of the argument or the discontent or the frustration? Why don't you just go talk to them? I had an opportunity this week. Well, I've talked to, and these aren't any of the communities that I managed. People call me from all over the place, so it's not anything.
Right. It's not you we're talking about, right?
Me that I'm talking about.
Right.
But I've had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, at least three board members and one owner contact me about some perceived activity of the manager. And I finally had a chance to talk to the manager, and I said, "So tell me the deal. What's going on?
What's actually happening? Mhm.
Yeah, what really happened?"
Yeah.
And he and I have a very good relationship. We've known each other for a long time, so I don't have any reason to believe he didn't tell me the truth. And the things that he said, the events as they happened, and what he was being accused of, he says, "I know better than to do that. I wouldn't ever do what they're accusing me of. I know better than that. I avoid that behavior, that activity, like the plague."
Right.
And he does. I mean, he does know that, and I have no reason to believe that his behavior was anything but that his behavior was appropriate.
Right. Right.
And
So people are getting
none
themselves
of
worked
them-
up. They're
but
getting
the
worked
other
up before they even know if it's a
But they
fact.
didn't even go and
Yeah.
talk to him.
Right. Right.
It's just the rumor mill.
Right.
And
Okay.
and another lady called me and was so upset because board members were coming in telling stories on other board members that she knew wasn't true, and she didn't know what to do, and she was so disillusioned that board members would lie about other board members, and she just has such a sweet heart that she just couldn't believe that people would say things that weren't true, that aren't going to be hard to find the truth. Eventually the truth will come out. And it's like, I said, well, that it's not your place to solve the issues between board members. They'll have to.
Betsy, that's where I was going next. Do you
they'll
think
have to work that out themselves?
Right. Do you think that maybe one of the first steps we can take is to stop the rumor mill ourselves?
Yeah, just stop.
Stop. I don't want to hear it.
Don't want to hear it. I'm not going to repeat it.
Right.
I know nothing.
Right.
But there is some kind of intrigue in our sinful human nature that just loves to know a little bit more about something bad. And it makes me feel special because I know a little bit more than you know.
I recently heard gossip described so perfectly, and I think it just sums it up as sugar-coated poison. That's what gossip is. Sugar-coated poison. Because the initial taste is so sweet, but the harm that it does once it's down,
it's just
it can be deadly. All right, let's take a quick break and come back because I want to talk about being on the receiving side of incivility. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a new career? Do you have skills or interest in management, real estate, construction, maintenance, accounting, strategic planning, project management, budgets, human resource management, lawn and landscaping, pool services, or any other expertise needed to operate a community association? If you do, community association management could be for you. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Florida Community Association Management continues to grow. Career opportunities abound.
Welcome back to the July 2026 edition of CAM Matters. We're talking about civility, or more the lack of is what we're hearing a lot of, Betsy. And you said you've got another example of what's happening in these communities, and a lot of it's starting with just rumors.
Most of it's rumors. The other call that I've gotten was from a board member who is concerned about two owners, and the owners are fighting with each other, and they're filing complaints with the police department. They've got police coming out, and they are harassing the board to have the boards make this stop, make this one stop, and that one start. I don't know what the deal is. This one's carrying a gun, and this one's putting junk out that the other owner doesn't like. I don't know all of the situation there, but the board member is just beside herself because the owners keep coming to the board to resolve the issue. And I said to her, if I understand what you're saying to me, it's not your job. The board is not here to resolve issues between owners.
Right.
It's a civil matter. Call the police. They need to call the police. Well, but the one owner is just insisting that the board do something. And I said, remember your training. The purpose of your corporation is to protect the property and its value, maintain the things that are used in common, and enforce the restrictions on the owner's use rights of not only their property, but the common property. That's it. That's it. You are not here to be the fifth grade teacher that settles disputes between all of these little kids that are fighting with each other.
You know what? That brings up a good point. That makes me think, isn't this a little bit like asking a teacher to deal with a dispute that kids are having, not on the playground, but at home.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
It's very much like it.
You know,
That's not the job of the teacher.
no. And I said to her, I said, if two customers are inside Publix and the two customers are having a fight in the aisle, it's not Publix employees' job to
Right.
intervene. Call the police.
Right.
That's it. You just call the
Wow.
police.
Right.
And if these are civil matters between two owners, it's not the board's problem. Now,
Right.
if either one of those owners has a violation, like a
Mhm.
landscaping violation or some other kind of rules violation, then the board needs to tend to that. But as far as them arguing with each other, it's not the board's position or place to have to do anything about that. And and she was saying, yeah, but the one owner is making the other owner hire an attorney, and I hate for them to have to spend the money. I said, it's not your
Not your problem.
it's not your
Right.
problem.
What so there are people who are watching this episode right now going, "Oh my gosh, that happens to me about twice a week. What should I do? What should I say?" It's not your problem.
It's
Call
not
the
your
police.
call the
This
police.
does not fall in my jurisdiction. This is not what we're here to solve.
And one of the pieces of advice that I gave the manager who was upset about the board member lying about the other board member and all that, I said, all you can do, I said, do not get involved. All you can do is document the facts as you know them, and document them on paper, the facts as you know them. And then whatever the other board members say about each other and whatever truths or untruths that they're telling is not your place to correct it. You just go on and do your memo to the board and tell them the information that you have, which her information came from the source. So,
Okay.
so
Well,
her
that makes a big difference.
her
Yeah.
information came from the source. The other board members' positions did not come from the source.
Okay. So if I'm hearing you, what I'm understanding, a manager, the way to receive this information, if it's coming from the source, to document it.
Mhm.
If it's not coming from the source, call
Go
the police.
go to the
Go to them, right?
If you need, if it's something that information that you need, go to the source and ask. And when I had a chance to talk to the other manager, got about three scenarios going here in my head.
Yeah.
When I had a chance to talk to him, I said, so tell me the deal. And he laid it out very realistically, honestly, which is what I assumed had happened because I know him.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, and that's what is disappointing, is that board members who are supposed to support the manager,
Mm-hmm.
board members are supposed to have the back of the manager. And as good-natured and honest and helpful as this manager is, it's just about broken his heart that they think that he would do something wrong on purpose. And you would hope that they would have more confidence in their manager, or belief in their manager, that their manager is going to do right. And instead of spreading the gossip, go talk to him. Well, I heard. Well, now, and the board member who was actually ended up yelling at me, and I'm yelling back at him saying, you're not listening to me. He said, well, you're not listening to me. I said, yes, I am, but I'm not going to agree with you. You want me to agree with you.
Right.
And I'm not going to agree with you. So quit yelling at me.
Betsy, the thing that's so disturbing about this is that, I mean, you write articles about this. We've talked about this since the very first season, has been an ongoing thing, and it doesn't feel like it's getting better. It's getting worse. There seem to be are there some rules that you can say you are now in violation of? I mean, this is workplace abuse.
It is workplace abuse. And what has not happened in our industry is that managers don't sue the boards when they quit. They don't sue for hostile work environment. They just go away and go work someplace else. in other kinds of industries, when employees are sexually harassed or they left because of a hostile work environment, they sue.
Right.
But for some reason, the managers in our industry don't sue boards.
They just want it to go away.
They just
I'm
go
done.
away.
Yeah.
They just go away. I'm done. But there might be a day when managers start doing that.
Yeah. It's difficult because I want to end on a positive note, and we are getting close to the end of the show. Why don't we just kind of recap some of the beautiful benefits of being a manager and some of the positive things, because I don't want to deter anybody who's thinking about moving into that career. These are exceptions. This is not the rule. It's too often, but it's a beautiful position to have and a wonderful community to be part of. Would you kind of talk to that?
Well, I'll tell you what I like about it. I like taking, I only have little small communities.
Mm-hmm.
I call them orphans, my orphan communities.
Yeah.
They're too little for the big management companies. And for those that did have a management company before I took them, they didn't get any attention paid to them. They didn't get their emails answered. They didn't get their phone calls answered. And they had just very, very slow responses to requests, and their financials weren't
They weren't a priority.
No.
Yeah.
And so I have thoroughly enjoyed taking on a new little community. No, I can't take any more.
Right.
Taking on a new little community and getting their books set up, giving them financials, simplified ones, because I'm not an accountant, simplified ones that they can understand, not 14 pages of things that are meaningless to them.
Right.
And being able to befriend a lot of them. I have a couple of boards that are standoffish, but then most of them, when we have board meetings here at the office, my little communities don't have clubhouses and places to have meetings. So we have here, and I have the relationship with most of them that they hug me when they come in.
Wow.
So I enjoy that kind of relationship. And I think that if I were to make a horrible mistake, that they would understand that I didn't do it on purpose, and they would understand that I feel worse about it than they do.
Right. Sure.
That won't ever happen again.
Right. Right.
So I like the communities that I work with, and I like bringing order to them. I like being able to help them get past the financial struggles that they have, and past the there's always at least one owner in each community that's just a patootie.
Bless their heart.
Yeah, bless their hearts. And just to get that person, that account in order, get it paid up, and get clients. I like
it brings you joy.
I like bringing the order to it, and I like having most of my boards will say thank you.
That's nice. That's what family does, and that's what I think the heart of being a manager is about. So good. I'm glad we were able to end on a positive note, because I know that you love, that role and you want to support. We do have to bring attention to some of the negatives and remind people, just be kind. And there is a better way to handle things. But all in all, it's a great career, and, one that you can feel so good walking away from.
This is a recession-proof career.
Mm-hmm.
So even when the economy crashes, communities still need managers. So
absolutely.
It is recession-proof.
All right, Betsy, we're going to wrap this up, but one final push for next month.
Yes, next month. Registration will end the last week of July. So get your registrations in.
TikTok. Let's go. Yeah. All right. Betsy, thank you so much. And thanks for joining us. As always, we appreciate if you would just rate and maybe leave a comment. Let Betsy know how much you appreciate these episodes. And we will talk to you next month. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to CAM Matters. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. For more information, feel free to email Betsy at betsy@floridacamschools.com or visit the Florida Cam Schools website at www.floridacamschools.com. Information provided on this show is general in nature and does not constitute legal advice. Please contact a licensed attorney for your specific situation.